All right, we're watching shares of NVIDIA this morning. A Reuters report says that Huawei is planning to begin mass shipments of its new AI chip to China as early as next month. That chip, which combines two processors into a single package, would provide an alternative to NVIDIA's H20 chip that now faces restrictions in China from the Trump administration.
The United States maintains a strong position at the top of the semiconductor value chain. American companies dominate the design of advanced chips, particularly those used in artificial intelligence, high-performance computing, and advanced military applications. Firms such as NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel produce chips that China cannot currently replicate at scale or at comparable performance levels. In addition, the United States, along with key partners like Japan and the Netherlands, controls the most advanced semiconductor manufacturing equipment. This includes lithography machines, etching tools, and deposition systems that are essential for producing cutting-edge chips at small process nodes. The most advanced lithography machines, known as EUV systems, are produced exclusively by ASML in the Netherlands, and China does not have access to them. Furthermore, nearly all advanced chip design relies on electronic design automation software, which is also dominated by American firms. These factors give the United States significant leverage in restricting China's access to advanced semiconductor technology. China, however, holds substantial influence in other parts of the supply chain. It is the world's largest producer of many critical minerals used in semiconductor manufacturing, including rare earth elements, gallium and germanium. These materials are essential for chip production, and China's dominance in their extraction and processing gives it a form of counter-leverage. China is also the world's largest producer of mature node chips, which are used in automobiles, household appliances, industrial machinery, and countless other applications. While these chips are not considered cutting-edge, they are essential to global manufacturing. China also plays a major role in semiconductor packaging and assembly, the final stages of chip production. In addition, China remains the world's largest manufacturing hub, and many global technology companies rely on Chinese factories for assembly and production. These factors give China influence over the lower and mid-levels of the semiconductor supply chain. Understanding the economics of semiconductor production helps clarify why this conflict is so complex. Advanced chips are produced at extremely small process nodes, such as 7 nanometers, 5 nanometers, and 3 nanometers. Producing chips at these levels requires highly specialized equipment, precise manufacturing environments, and deep technical expertise. The cost of building a single advanced semiconductor fabrication plant can exceed $10 billion, and the research and development required to maintain competitiveness is equally expensive. Only a handful of companies in the world can operate at this level, and the United States and its allies control most of the necessary technology. China has invested heavily in developing its own advanced manufacturing capabilities, but it still faces significant technological barriers. At the same time, mature node chips, which are produced at larger process nodes such as 28 nanometers or 45 nanometers, are easier to manufacture and do not require the most advanced equipment. China has focused heavily on this segment, and its capacity in mature node production has grown rapidly. These chips are essential for industries like automotive manufacturing, industrial automation, and consumer electronics. During the pandemic, shortages of mature node chips caused major disruptions in global supply chains, highlighting their importance. China's dominance in this area gives it a form of economic leverage that is different from, but still significant compared to, the United States' control over advanced chips. The geopolitical implications of this competition are substantial. Advanced semiconductors are critical for modern military systems, including missile guidance, radar, surveillance, and secure communications. They are also essential for artificial intelligence, which is increasingly viewed as a strategic technology with both economic and military applications. The United States is concerned that China's access to advanced chips could accelerate its military modernization and enhance its capabilities in areas such as autonomous systems, cyber operations, and intelligence analysis. As a result, the United States has implemented export controls to limit China's access to advanced chips, chip-making equipment, and the expertise needed to develop them. These controls are designed to slow China's progress in areas that could challenge U.S. strategic advantages. China views these restrictions as an attempt to contain its technological development. In response, China has increased investment in domestic semiconductor manufacturing, expanded subsidies for chip companies, and accelerated efforts to reduce its dependence on foreign technology. China has also signaled that it may restrict exports of critical minerals used in chip production, which could affect global supply chains. This dynamic has created a cycle of action and counteraction, with each side seeking to protect its interests and reduce its vulnerabilities. The broader regional context also plays an important role. Taiwan is home to TSMC, the world's most advanced semiconductor manufacturer. South Korea is a leader in memory chip production. Japan supplies essential materials and components. The Netherlands controls lithography technology. India and Southeast Asian countries are emerging as alternative manufacturing hubs. The semiconductor supply chain is deeply interconnected, and the strategic decisions of these countries influence the balance of power between the United States and China. The U.S.-China semiconductor conflict is therefore not a temporary dispute, but a long-term structural competition. It reflects deeper shifts in the global economy, where technological leadership is increasingly tied to national power. The United States controls the advanced technologies that China needs, while China controls the materials, manufacturing capacity, and mid-level production that the world relies on. Both sides have leverage, both sides have vulnerabilities, and both sides are taking steps to reduce their dependence on the other. As Asia becomes more economically diverse, with multiple centers of growth and influence, traditional forms of pressure become less effective. Countries now have alternatives, and this changes the dynamics of global trade and technology. In summary, the semiconductor conflict between the United States and China is a competition over technological leadership, economic security, and geopolitical influence. It involves complex supply chains, significant economic investments, and strategic considerations that extend far beyond trade. Semiconductors are foundational to modern technology, and control over them will shape the global balance of power in the decades ahead. Understanding this conflict requires recognizing the strengths and limitations of both sides, as well as the broader regional and global context in which it is unfolding. This is why the semiconductor issue has become one of the most important economic and strategic challenges of our time.